Hello everyone, my name is Dhruv Bhatia and I'm a data science and business analytics intern at the Sparks Foundation. So this is my third task, which is exploratory data analysis using a sample superstore data. So the main objective of this task is to find the weak points in a superstore and find how we find the weak points where the superstore is performing. So this is the data which we have given. So this is some geographical data, the country, city, state. Since this superstore has many branches across the United States, so this is basically a data of the order transactions which have taken place and the category, subcategory of the items, and then the amount, sales amount, discount, and the profit and profit margin. So I'll begin with the analysis. So if we look at the state-wise analysis here, the states which are performing, which is incurring a loss are depicted in red, and the states which are incurring a profit are in green. So we can see that there are around 10 states which are incurring a loss. So only profit and loss would not tell the real data. So here we have the sum of the profit, and the darker the shade of the blue means higher profit, and the shade of orange which is more darker which means higher losses. So we can see that California is performing very well, and even Massachusetts and New York is performing well, whereas Texas, Colorado, and Pennsylvania is not performing very well if we look at the sum of profits. But the main performance matrix for finding the state which is performing good or bad cannot be a sum of profit, because it will depend on the number of stores in the state, or the population of the state, or the income per capita of the state. So here uh, we have created a new column which is profit margin. So the profit margin basically is the sum of profits divided by the sum of sales, which would tell us more detail about which state is performing better and which state is not. So we can see the change in profit margin from the above sum of profit graph. Here California is not performing very well because the profit margin is only 0.16, whereas a state like Montana or a state like Maine, where the profit sum of profits are not very large, but if we look at the sales, the sum of profits are good. So these states are performing well. Since the population would be less of the states, so the sum of profit would be less. So that would be a good margin to see the sales, the profit divided by the sales. And we can also see Colorado and Texas are performing not very well. Again, this is the sales data which is divided into category and subcategories. So here we can see in the x-axis we have the sum of the sales. So here we can see the sales for phones and chairs are very large, and the coloring is made on the basis of profits. So even if the sales for table is very large, but tables are incurring a loss of $17,000. So tables, bookcases, and tables would not be a good, uh, should be taken care of, since they are incurring loss even though the sales are high. And the sales for phones are large, and even the profit for phones are also large, and also for copiers. if we look at the sales data. Now we'll take a look at the discounts. We can see maximum discounts is given to binders, and even discounts are given for say, tables and bookcases, since they are also incurring losses, so these discounts should not be given. And this would increase the performance of these categories if we look at the discounts. And otherwise we can also see discount for phone is also large, and paper is also good. So this is the city analysis which I've done. So here the cities with blue are incurring a profit margin of greater than zero point 0.1, whereas the city with red and orange are incurring losses. So here we can see New York City, Los Angeles, Seattle, and San Francisco are incurring profits. So these are the best performing cities, whereas cities like Philadelphia, Houston, and Chicago are incurring losses. Even San Antonio are incurring losses. So stores in these cities should be taken care of, and more marketing or more customer integration should be done for these cities which are not performing very well. And this is the regional analysis. Here profit margin and sales are on the y-axis, whereas the region of the country is in the x-axis. So even though the sales of southern region is very less, but the profit margin is high, so we can say that southern region is performing well. But if we look at the sales of central region, and we look at the profit margin of central region, the profit margin is less, so the central region is not performing very well. So we can conclude from that also, from regional analysis. And that would be my analysis on this superstore data. Thank you.